Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 175 for Tuesday, the 8th of August 2023. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Just a Switch, and that's it.
And that's it. We were supposed to have Nick join us, but he's not feeling very well, so hope you feel better soon, Nick. You are always missed from the show, but... me and Darren will always soldier on because we are epic gods of gaming. So, yeah, we live for the video games. Yeah. I've not actually played a lot of games this week for a change.
All right, you usually say that and rattle off about 20.
No. Well, it's been a...
Well, have you played D20, if that makes any sense?
Indeed. I have to say, right, this game that I'm about to talk about, it was not really on my radar at all until about a week before it released. So it's a new release for this week.
And the hype whirlwind rolled into town and swept you up.
And so I pre-ordered it a couple of days before it came out because it came out on Thursday, which is a really odd day for a game to come out, but there we go. And I have not played anything else since Thursday.
Wow.
It is sucked me in. And I'm quite surprised because I've played a few... So it's Baldur's Gate 3, right? So, you know, I can say it, right? But so it's made by Larian Studios. And I'm quite surprised it sucked me in so much because... I've picked up their other games and never really got into them. So their other games that they brought out were Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2.
They're great. You've definitely played...
No. I'm saying I've picked them up. I bought them both, when they came out. But I never finished them.
Actually, no, I think I might be getting confused with Sacred. Like the Sacred games. Sacred 1 and 2.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean... Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 are renowned for being really good games, and they are a lot of fun, but they never really... I don't know, I've never really properly got into them, if that makes sense. Like Divinity Original Sin 2, it says on my Steam I've played it for just over 9 hours. So it's not really a lot of playtime, is it? For one of those sort of games, whereas... Baldur's Gate 3, bearing in mind it came out... Well, let's just count, it was Thursday evening, so 4 days ago, right? And I've played it for 24 hours. So...
At least 5 hours a day.
Yeah, and I'm fucking loving it. So, yeah... And I don't know why, like, this has really sucked me in, because it's quite similar in gameplay to the Divinity games, but I think they do a lot of a better job of the storytelling, and just the gameplay just feels... I mean, it's very similar, but it just, I don't know, just something about it clicks with me a bit better. Now, this is only out on PC at the moment. It's been actually out in early access on PC since 2020. Officially, properly, full release came out Thursday. And it's coming to PlayStation 5 next month. Which is cool.
Starfield, if I recall.
Yeah, and it's not coming to Xbox till next year. Now, the reason it's been delayed on the Xbox is because they can't get the couch co-op split screen working on the Series S, apparently.
I still don't know why Microsoft made a Series S. Why they didn't just make a digital-only Series X, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's a topic for hot debate, right? I mean, I've got an S and an X, so I could probably comment quite well on this, and I think the Series S is a good little console. You know, every game I've run on it has looked decent. I mean, I've run it on a 1080p screen, so it's fine. And when you think that all the big games run on it as well, right? All the big Xbox exclusive games. Obviously, Starfield's going to run on it and stuff like that.
That'll be interesting to see how all that
yeah,
does.
I'm struggling to see why they're using that as an excuse, because, you know, doesn't need that extra processing power. I don't know. I mean, the game, because I've been playing the game a lot on my Steam Deck, and it runs really well on the Steam Deck. Looks good, runs good. But I think the split screen is disabled for the deck. Now, I did see some stuff online saying, well, why didn't they do that for the Series S version? But Xbox has a clause where the game, they have to have console parity, so games on the S and X have to run exactly the same. So I just think it's a bit of a silly reason, because like couch co-op is such a not really a big thing these days, to be honest. So I don't get it.
I imagine it kind of will be for this, though, because of the kind of game it is.
Yes.
I think it would be quite popular.
Well, I would think so. Well, I would hope so. I mean, I've only been playing it single player, so I can't comment on how the co-op works, if it's any good. It is 4-player co-op online and couch co-op. Now, the reason for this is because there's a party of 4 characters. You can get more than 4 characters later on, but you can only have 4 in your party at a time. Classic RPG thing there, right? But I'm intrigued. So what I want to do is finish it single player before I try it in co-op, because I played Divinity in co-op and it was a little bit annoying, to be honest, because people would wander off and do their own thing, start quests and talk to people, and you'd miss bits and pieces. So I'm unsure if that's similar in this or not. I don't know, because I've not seen it. I've not looked into it. So I'm not going to say, oh, this is how it works in this game, because to be honest, I don't know. But what I can say is this game is fucking amazing. I'm loving it. Now, a couple of reasons for that. Well, firstly, I want to say that I think it's actually the highest reviewed game that's come out this year. On Metacritic, it's sitting at a 95 Metascore with a user score of 9.3, which is crazy. You don't see many games coming out to review scores that high for users and proper reviews, if that makes sense, right? You normally get a little bit of a disparity, but yeah. So anyway, I'm really enjoying it, and the main reason and this is my brain, right? And this is how I think we've been kind of, I don't know, we've been hand-holded too much in the last 10, 20 years. You play a game and there's waypoints telling you where to go so you can follow a set path, right? In pretty much every game you play these days. You think of Dead Space, there's the line on the floor. You think of like an Assassin's Creed, there's the little dots on the map or whatever, right? This is proper exploration. So, yes, for some quests there'll be like a waypoint on the map, but
probably for your main story stuff, I'm guessing.
Well, this is what I'm getting to, right? It'll give like an option. And it'll say, well, go to this area, right? And you get to that area and it's like, right, you need to figure it out now. So I'm not going to spoil any of the story in the game, but I'm at a portion of the game where I've got to do some stuff. And I'm being quite general, but I'm in this area and there is no waypoints at all. And it's literally, I've got to like talk to people, explore and figure this shit out myself, right? And it's quite, because I'm not used to that in games anymore. You think of the games of old in the 80s and 90s and that, they all used to be like that with these big RPGs. Think of like Morrowind as an example.
Oh yeah, everyone I knew who played Morrowind back in the day,
yeah,
we all kept our own journals while we were playing the game.
yeah.
Like just reminding us where we'd left certain items, certain places to go back to explore, to check stuff, because I wasn't high enough level to go there yet, etc.
Yeah. So, in some aspects, this is quite similar to Morrowind because a lot of, like, I would say a fuck ton of the game, you will only, like, there is no waypoints for. There's no, like, there's so many, like, subplots, characters that you can meet that you could completely miss, right? If you don't explore properly. So you can recruit different characters into your party. And the ones you aren't using at the time, you send them to your camp so you can swap them in and out whenever you want. But there's whole, like, main characters that you can just miss out on recruiting. There's whole plots. You know, we've got a Baldur's Gate chat on the Discord, and we're having a chit chat about bits and pieces about the game without trying not to spoil it too much. And there's stuff that I've completely missed in some of the acts, and stuff that the other guys have missed. They're using different characters to me, completely different builds. We've talked to different people. We've done whole quest lines in completely different ways, gone to completely different places, because there's just so many options to complete quests and sub-quests, etc. Because, like, there's so many little options, like you can talk your way out of stuff, but there's so many, like, with all the dialogue choices, or you can fight your way out of things, even though the combat is quite difficult. I've died a lot in this game. Had to reload my saves a few times. But I'm just loving that exploration, because I feel like if I don't explore properly, I'm going to miss out on so much. And there's so many ways to do things. Like in a certain portion of the game, as an example, there's a kind of a cursed forest. And I haven't done this because I missed it, but one of the guys just was saying, "Oh, did you do this thing to lift the curse?" And I was like, "What? I didn't know you could do that. I've completely missed that." You know? So I think that's quite cool. And the areas are just very beautiful, very well done. I like the isometric viewpoint, even though you can, like, scroll in and play it as kind of a third-person game if you want as well, which is quite cool. But yeah, the areas are very big. They're very varied. But what I will say, and I will pre-warn people, is if you've not played it or you're quite fresh into it, is you'll get to points in the game where it will say, are you sure you want to move on from here? You won't be able to go back. That's the end of an act, and you will not be able to go back to that area unless you start a new game. So make sure you've properly...
At least it warns you, yeah.
Yeah. But what's quite good is in each area you've got fast travel points that you can unlock as well, so you don't have to trudge around a lot, which is quite handy. Now, the story is really good. I'm absolutely loving it. But what I'm also what I'm really liking about it is it feels like a proper Dungeons and Dragons, where, you know, you get a lot of things that come up where you have to roll, like, your D20 dice, for those of you that don't know. So you can pass or fail certain situations. Now, obviously, you could, like, cheat that by just kind of saving before and then reloading your save until you pass. That is an option. Or you can just go with the flow and go with it, because if you fail, you do get other options available to you. And that's what makes the game great, because it's that chance. It's all a game of chance, like a proper Dungeons and Dragons game. Now, I think it would be quite fun in co-op because you'd play a character each person and you'd go through the quest together. I do think the game is built for replayability. I really do think that. Obviously, the story will be quite similar. You can choose, obviously, but you can choose a different character to start with. Now, there is pre-made characters on the character selection, and those are some of the main characters you meet within the actual game, and you can recruit them to your party. But there is a character creation option as well. However, I couldn't really figure it out properly to make like a real cool kind of character, so I just went with a default one, just because that's what I wanted to do. So I'll be interested to see what other people's experiences are with the character creator. But yeah, mate, I'll tell you what, I think you would really like it, Darren. I really do. If you like your RPGs with a lot of choice, it's what I like about it, mate, is you buy the game and that's it. There's no DLC, no microtransactions. It's just old school, buy a fucking game and it's all there. And it's a long fucking game, apparently, over 100 hours easy of playtime, loads of stuff to explore. And it just harkens back to that old school gaming of just explore and have fun with the game, right? And there's so many different options, as I say, of like figuring things out, getting to places, solving riddles, solving some storylines, etc., etc. Because I've been stuck on some things that I've wanted to do for ages. It'll be like something simple, like I've wanted to get into a door, but someone's watching me, so I need to like find, I don't know, is there a spell that I could use within my arsenal, or is there a potion I can use? Can I distract this person? Can I, there's all these different options available. So that's cool. The only thing I will say is, like, when I've wanted to, because it's quite vague, and you only unlock the map as you explore it, if that makes sense. So it's like darkened out until you walk on that area. Like, it has been frustrating at times. Yes, it helps with the exploration, but so if I've got a waypoint in the top left corner of the map saying, "Oh, this is where you need to go to see this, to do this, to see this person about this thing you're doing." Well, I don't know how to fucking get there, man. And some places to get to are quite intricate, if that makes sense, are quite hard to get to. So that's been a little bit frustrating because it's taken me ages to get to places. But on the other hand, it's helped me explore more, and I've ended up doing other things whilst meeting really cool other characters. Because basically all the characters you've got in your party as well, they have their own sub stories as well, Darren. So you can spend a lot of time like trying to figure out their past, their stories, trying to help them out. If you do the wrong thing as part of their storyline, they'll get pissed off and leave your party, and that'll be them done. So you've got to like try and play that game of keeping your party members happy as well, which is quite interesting. A lot of their storylines happen in your camp, so you can camp whenever you want. There is a camp option in the start menu, and that's where, as I say, all the story kind of things happen. You talk to your camp members. You can also romance all of them as well. So I've romanced a couple of the ladies in the game, and there is full-on nudity as well. So in that regard, it feels
point out,
yeah. So it feels very Witcher in that aspect. So that's quite cool. Yeah, I'm loving this game. I really, really am. I didn't think I would like it as much as I am, to be honest, but it's really sucked me in. It really has, and I seriously do think, I know we've got Starfield coming out soon, and we've had Final Fantasy 16. we've had some big hitters this year. But I do think, and Zelda, but I do think this game, Baldur's Gate 3, will be a serious Game of the Year contender, and I'll be surprised if it doesn't win the Game of the Year awards. I would be shocked because it is that good. It is solid, though you can tell they've put so much love and care into this game. I mean, I've not come across any glitches. All the story's been really good. The voice acting and the animations is just second to none. Like, it is just like AAA level of quality. It really is. I'm loving it, and what's nuts is, like, I don't think I've ever seen so many of my Steam friends all playing the same game at the same time. You know, you remember the old Xbox days when, like, a new Gears or something would come out, and you'd load up your friends list and you'd see all your mates playing COD. Well, this is like that. I load up Steam, and I look at my friends list, and everyone's just fucking playing Baldur's Gate 3. It's insane. I think they had over 700,000 concurrent players on it on launch day, which is crazy for a Steam game. So, yeah, I think it's absolutely stunning, this game. I mean, I've done almost 24 hours. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface with it, to be honest. There's just so much to see and do, so much to explore, so many characters. You know, and I just, when I'm not playing it, it's all I can think about. I just want to play it more and more and more. And thank fuck I bought the Steam Deck, mate, because all weekend I was on the sofa playing Baldur's Gate on the Steam Deck while the kids were watching shitty cartoons, because it was a rainy weekend, wasn't it? So I had the excuse to play the Steam Deck all weekend. So yeah, I think.
How big is it?
Size-wise, you mean? 126 gig.
Too bad, I suppose.
It's a massive game, though, mate, and the graphics are amazeballs. I do think it works really well with a controller. So obviously on my PC I use mouse and keyboard, but obviously the Steam Deck, it maps the controller, and it's in some aspects I think it's better with a controller. So what I mean by that is, with the PC it's point and click. You know, you point your mouse and you click where you want your characters to go. But obviously with a controller you're just moving your characters with the left thumbstick. And I think in a lot of aspects that's a lot better. So it's a shame that there's no way to translate that to, like, moving your characters with the keyboard on the PC. And all the spells are mapped really well. Come up in like little you know, you hold down the bumper button, comes up in like a circle of your magics and that to use, which is really cool. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, mate. Because I know I've been playing it for like 4 days and I've put a lot of hours into it. But I'm just blown away. I really am blown away with how good this game is. And I'll say, if you've got a PC, you've got no excuse not to buy this game right now. It is so fucking amazing. So it comes out on PC next month. So if you don't have an Xbox and you're not playing Starfield, then what are you doing? You need to pick this up. Yeah. I don't know what to say on it, Darren, to be honest. Any questions on it at all?
Not really, no.
No?
Obviously, like I say, I've picked it, watched people playing it, and didn't realise that it was so tabletop-y.
But that's what I like about it. And you know what else is really cool? Is because it's so new and it's so big. And I know the beta's been out for ages, but they kept a lot of the story back until the full release. There is no walkthroughs out online at all. So you have to play the game as it was intended. Figure it all out yourself. And you say I have struggled at times, but I've liked that kind of open-endedness of like, it's my story. If shit happens, shit happens. You know. Um, and I'll tell you what, and I normally don't say this about games. I will be doing another playthrough of this once I finish the story, just to see, what else happens. I'm going to choose a completely different character and play in a completely different way and make different choices, etc., etc. Because I'll tell you what, there is so much to it. It is nuts. I love it. I'm absolutely loving it. And to think I was on the fence. Wow. What a game. I'll tell you what, game of the year at the end of the year is going to be tough this year. So many good games. And I'll be surprised if this doesn't pip it for me. It is that fucking good. Anyway, I've blabbered on about it for long enough, but I'll be talking about it next week. So, Darren, let's get to you.
Unfortunately, nothing new, because one of the games I ordered still hasn't turned up after days of waiting for it. Remnant 2 I've ordered.
Oh, nice.
But it still hasn't arrived, because I did order it from a retailer that has become absolutely pathetic at getting games to people in any kind of decent time. So usually I'm like, oh, you've got the best price on the net, and I'm not desperate for it, so I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've got that coming. So while I was sort of waiting, I've finished. So I would say like the story for the season of the Malignant on Diablo, but it's
Okay.
not exactly massively long.
Okay.
You obviously deal with someone. You've got like the Malignant tunnels, which are just kind of like a repetitive version of the normal dungeons, but they're all kind of have the exact same aesthetic look to them, which makes them a bit more boring, like when you're
Yeah.
running them.
Yeah.
They are literally just caverns. There's no like mix up of like waterlogged areas and like mansions and manors and derelict
Mm-hmm.
places, etc. It was fairly decent, the storyline, I guess. Now I'm just sort of plodding through, like leveling up the pass and trying to finish a lot of the content before I go into like the nightmare dungeons and all of that kind of stuff.
Are you still enjoying it? I mean, I really haven't gone back to it properly at all for a while. I went back onto it when we were podcasting last week just to do some of the Lilith statues, but I don't know, the draw for it just isn't there for me, mate. I don't know why.
Maybe just like the aesthetic hasn't clicked, or the class you're
Hmm.
using, or something. But I have found it a lot more enjoyable than I expected it to be. Apart from
Okay.
obviously the shortcomings with the level syncing and all the other bits.
Ah, okay. Fair, mate.
I will say one of the other sort of slight complaints is you get like these malignant hearts that you can fuse into your jewelry, which are literally just only for the event,
Ah, okay.
and a lot of them are absolutely shite, like absolutely shite. Where you're just like, all right, why would you use that?
All right.
Like sort of things where it's like, oh, instead of using your resource, you use your life to do your abilities, and it's like, oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's fucking great. No, you're all right, mate. You can keep that one, especially when it gets into the harder difficulties.
Hmm.
But then there's other times where I've got something on my one of the things on my items, and basically gives me like almost 2,000 shield over shield for a certain amount of time every time I go up against an elite.
Okay, yeah.
And ever since I had that, I haven't had any at all that have even come close to that kind of what's it. So I'm guessing that must have been close to like maybe a god roll stat on that ability that I had
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
So, because I know it's obviously it can be between this value and that value, and it's random which one you're going to get, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think that is an attribute that's only available for the season of the Malignant. So you're going to get a lot of people who are using those characters, and then when those characters get dumped back into the Eternal Realm, most people's builds for that characters are going to be completely erased.
Right.
Because you'll find when you go into the Eternal Realm, if it strips you of all of the perks and abilities that are literally just for the season, like you're going to be like completely down on a lot of your abilities per se, and have to like respec or re-imprint other attributes and stuff over the top.
Okay.
But yeah, the season runs until I think it's October or something, so it's got a long while yet.
Yeah.
I like it when they do that rather than Street Fighter 6, which basically seems to have a brand new battle pass every month.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of a bit like, like can you not? Because if you look at it normally, you're looking at maybe like spending 120 quid a year just to do the battle pass stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a bit much, in my opinion. So they'd literally just finished the Rashid one and they went straight into another one, which is like a Street Fighter 30th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
And to be honest, the rewards for that battle pass are like the worst yet out of any of the battle passes.
Oh dear.
Like you get the original Street Fighter arcade game as like a ROM to play.
All right. Yeah.
But as we all know, that game is absolutely fucking dire as shit.
Yeah.
Like you literally be like, oh, I'll have a go on that, and then while you're like, oh my god, we've come so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even in the retro standard, just along the lines of like, I don't even feel like I've got any kind of control or anything over this game.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So yeah, I kind of bled into a little bit of Street Fighter 6 after that. I'll briefly talk about it later on as well, because obviously you had the Evo Championships that took place over the weekend for those that actually care to watch those. I just like listening to the watching the announcements for the games and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So there has been a few sort of fighting game announcements and things shown off. But yeah, back to you, mate. I'll throw it back.
Yeah. So while you've been talking, I've just had a look on Metacritic. So Baldur's Gate 3 is actually the second most highest rated game on Metacritic this year at 95. Beating it, it's actually in second place. Number one at 96 was The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, no surprise. Everyone gets such a hard on for Nintendo. It's puzzling. Don't get me wrong, Nintendo make good games, but like to have that much of a boner over everything they do is just weird to me.
Yeah, I know. Well, talking about Nintendo, I've actually been playing a Nintendo game with the kids this week called Everybody 1, 2, Switch. And if you
wasn't that a launch game?
I've no fucking clue. I can't remember.
Isn't that the one where you like milk the cows with your Switch controllers and stuff?
No, there's no milking cows. Basically, it's a party game where the main host is like a horse face guy. It came out in 2017. Fucking hell. What? I've not played. Oh. It does have the milk in the cow. I've not played that one.
Oh. I thought it rung a bell. Yeah, I thought it was like one of the launch games, basically.
Well, none of the games that are showing on here are the ones that we've played. So have they done a second one?
Is it not 3-4 Switch?
No. It's just a bit odd. So we've been playing 1-2 Switch. Hang on, everybody 1-2. Oh, there's a second. It's in the second one. That's why. So this one came out this year. Came out last couple of months ago. Yeah, the 30th of June. This is
Yeah.
why. Yeah, this is the one I've been playing. So, yeah, it's called Everybody 1-2 Switch. It's 25 quid. And it's got party games. So I think it's a sequel to that other one that you were on about with the milking the
I'd
cows and all
imagine
that.
it would be, yeah.
So it's got like Horsey McHorseface as the presenter. And it's just a
His
good
name.
party game. So you use the Joy Cons and you got to like pump balloons, do samurai sword fights, throwing stars, like relay races and musical chairs and shit. And it's just good with the little kids. Just get them up and we jump around and play these little games. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, really. It's just nice, and that's something that the Switch is really good for that you don't see on any other platform. It's a good party game machine. If you've got people in the front room or whatever, and you can all just have fun playing some games together, you know? Because you've got like Switch Sports and a few other things like that. But this, I don't know, this is just a fun little game. Just like do like a 20-minute round, playing a few games, mate. It's good. It's good fun. So I just wanted to mention that because I forgot to write it down, and you just reminded me of that. So, yeah, the Switch is still getting used from time to time in my house, which is cool.
That's still
Um,
got a big game coming out, hasn't it, soon?
um, I'm not sure. There's always some
Or is
big.
it? No, I know there's a big. I think there's a big Pokemon thing this week or tomorrow.
Oh, not another one.
Like some advertisement for a Well, yeah. I know. Obviously, people give like say Sony and like Microsoft shit for like basically just be like, oh, it's another Gears, it's another Forza, it's another God of War. But then like Nintendo do the exact same thing, but they get the Nintendo Pass.
Hmm. Yeah.
It feels like we've had so many Pokemon games and stuff like in recent years, anyway, haven't we? We've had like Arceus, and then that one that everyone was memeing the shit out of because it was like horrendously broken.
Yeah. Yeah. Arceus. When is a new Switch going to come out, man? I mean, it is. I mean, it does still does fun games, but it's just so
That was actually
dated now.
rumoured earlier this month.
Hmm.
People have apparently been saying that devs have got the dev like kits for the new system, and it's going to be kind of 2024.
Okay.
It
That'd be
makes
interesting.
sense because they haven't even got 4K or anything like that on the Switch yet, have they?
No, no, it needs
Um,
sorting out. 100%.
but for all I know, is Nintendo could be the last sort of console system I end up getting
Yeah, because they'll
because
still do
they will they
physical.
will they will be the last ones to turn away from the physical,
Yeah.
especially considering they're talking about this new one being backwards compatible with like Switch stuff anyway,
Well, yeah, they'd be silly
which
not
means
to
it'll
do
have
that.
a what's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been enjoying it still. So that's cool. Um, I've had, like, I'll tell you what, like, I played Call of Duty. So the new season of COD came out, right? And I've not even bought the season pass for this one. And I think I played it for about 20 minutes this new season, and that's about it. Had a couple of goes on the new maps there, okay, and then I was just like, right. And it's not the fact that I don't enjoy playing Call of Duty. I still enjoy playing it, but I've just there's so many other good games out at the minute. I'm just struggling to find the time, you know. So Baldur's Gate 3 will be keeping me entertained for a while.
Until obviously Starfield.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So back to you anyway, Darren, before I take over as I usually do.
I think if there's been much else, because
We don't have to talk
there
about
hasn't been
loads,
really
mate.
been a ton of
There's no
stuff.
need
Yeah,
to
I
make the
know.
podcast long this week. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's up to
Let's have a
you.
look.
Well, while you're looking,
Yeah, go for it.
I've played a little bit of Formula 1 22, F1 22, still enjoying that. Racing around, there's dailies and weeklies, which I'm still doing on that. And a little bit of, well, before Thursday, I was hammering F1 Manager 22 because I'm too tight to buy 23 because I've already bought a game this month. So I'm still enjoying that. And pushing Red Bull to victory, just like in real life. And I'm still playing Out of the Park Baseball 2024 as well. 2024, 23, 23. Because I like my baseball. Oh, 24, yeah. So I'm still plodding along in those management games, but I've only played one other game. I'll save that for after you, Darren.
Oh yeah, well, it doesn't really look like I've played anything else outside of the usuals.
Okay. Okay, so I need to make an announcement then. So, for those of you in the Discord, you know this. I've set up an event which is a gamer night. Haven't had one of those for a while. That's on Friday, the 18th of August, from 8:30 p.m. till we all fall asleep. And that game is only you need to play it on Xbox because it's not cross-play. That game is Wreckfest. Now, we used to have some really good sessions on Wreckfest back in the day. So we're trying to bring that back. So far, 9 people are saying that they're attending, so that's really cool. There is actually, so it is on Game Pass, which is fantastic. But you, I know it's a little bit annoying, but I've bought it anyway. You can actually buy a Series X/S upgrade to upgrade the graphics and allows for more multiplayer people in your lobby. And that's £8 for that upgrade. So I think it's worth it. And I actually had a good session on it last night, funnily enough, because we're all getting ready for the gamer night. Me, Venom, Laffer, and Angelos, that we want to be really, really good before the gamer night hits. So we've been practicing. And we had some really good sessions last night. And it's still a lot of fun. Loads of different types of courses, some with loop-de-loops and stuff. Just absolute carnage. And the good thing about it is no one takes it serious because you're supposed to smash into each other in this game. And that's what makes it such a fucking laugh. So, for all of you listening, please join the gamer night. I guarantee you will have fun. So it's happening on the 18th of August, 8:30 p.m. we start. I'll be starting just an Xbox party and just feel free to join it. Have some beers, chat some shit with us, and smash some cars up. So there's your warning. Do it. And I've purposely done it for in a couple of weeks so it gives people time to tell their wives, look, I'm playing games with Webby tonight. So you got your notice. Do it. Friday the 18th. Be there or be square. Darren, I want to see you there.
Breakfast, I don't own it, mate.
Buy it. Yeah, no, it's a good laugh. So, yeah, it's still good fun. As I say, we played it last night, had a few sessions. I think it's going to make for a fun game tonight. So, yeah. Oh, forgot to mention as well. So my brain's all over the place. I'm so fucking busy these days. I did have I think I forgot to mention it in the main show last week, so people didn't hear it and they listened to the outtakes. Been having a few good sessions on Battlefield 2042 with Clarky and Bolo. They keep on updating the game. They're looking after it still. They updated one of the maps and it's now a lot better. It's still a good laugh to play with friends. So if you've got Game Pass or you want to buy it, it's cheap. Check that out. Still good fun. Or if not, just carry on playing COD. And the new COD, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, is launching on the 10th of November.
Wasn't Modern Warfare 2 the last one?
So Modern Warfare 2 is the one that I'm currently playing with the boys at the minute.
Yeah, so I thought they were supposed to alternate.
Well, this is what I thought, Darren.
And I thought they were supposed to be having a year off.
That's what I thought, Darren, but they're not. So it's coming out 10th of November. Not seen anything else about it, to be honest, apart from the release date and the new logo. How it's going to implement with Modern Warfare 2, I don't know. It's rumoured to have zombies, obviously a new campaign, and all new multiplayer maps. But it makes me feel a bit sad because there's about 20 or so multiplayer maps in Modern Warfare 2, which are, most of them are fucking awesome. What's going to happen to them? Where are they going to go? Disappear into the ether? Who knows? Guarantee you though that the Warzone map will probably stay the same, and the DMZ and all that. It'll just be the campaign and the multiplayer
I kind of
changes.
feel that more people have moved over to like the Warzone kind of stuff for COD, and like the actual CODs, everyone's kind of like fucking had enough, mate. Like this is getting stupid. Like,
Well, you say that, but everyone I know who
about the announcement today, and he just went,
I think it depends. I think it depends on the type of gamer you are. So you look at Colin as an example. He's gone very casual these days. It's because he's got a life now, bastard. So he's quite limited on time. It's usually just on weekends, and he literally just plays Warzone with his brother and a few mates, which is fair enough, right? So it suits him. It's free to play, and they enjoy it. But then you'll get like people like me, Venom, Laffer, and Angelos. We play a lot of COD, but we play a lot of the normal multiplayer as well. So we'll need to buy the new COD to carry on playing the multiplayer that we enjoy. Because we chop and change, right? We do the multiplayer, but then sometimes, very rarely, we do Warzone. I mean, I really only play Warzone with Colin because the other guys don't really like it. But I'll do the DMZ with them as well. So there's a portion of that paid component and the free to play component that quite a lot of people enjoy. Like to have that all round experience, So I'll be picking it up, mate. To be honest, because I really enjoy the campaigns. And the multiplayer. I won't do what I did last time and buy it twice, though. I'll literally only buy it on my PC because I bought Modern Warfare 2 on Xbox and PC. Because sometimes I like to play on the sofa, but I think I'll just end up playing the free to play components on the Xbox now and the other bits on the PC. But yeah, still good fun. And I think the reason why it is good fun is because it's probably I think it's like one of the only games that I know that I have people to play it online with. Like every other multiplayer game I own, no one really. There's not really anyone around. You know what I mean? So yeah, it would be nice to find some people to play some Baldur's Gate with once I finish the campaign and do a new one with someone. There's plenty of people I can see who are playing it, but I think it's one of those things where everyone is playing it single player, at least for the first time round. I've not seen anyone playing it online at all because it tells you in the next to their Steam name when they're playing it, it says lone adventurer, and I think when you're playing it online, it will say, in a multiplayer game or something like that. So yeah, all good, mate. All good. And I think it's drop in, drop out on Baldur's Gate as well, because I'm looking now and it says join game on people. So if it's like Divinity, which I'm sure it is, you can just drop in and out of people's games if they've got it open, which I think is quite cool. So, yeah. All good, mate. All good. Any other games you want to talk about, Darren, or you kind of spent?
I'm kind of spent on stuff, to be honest.
Cool. Okay, so news-wise, Red Dead Redemption, Darren. The original Red
Indeed.
Dead Redemption
Was
well,
amazing.
yeah, it is coming to the Nintendo Switch and the PS4 next week. Say what? That is nuts, man. Can you imagine playing Red Dead Redemption on the Switch? Wow. And the PS4, it never came out on the PS4 originally.
Yeah, well, no, it was a PS3 and 360 game, wasn't it? That was the only two platforms it launched on, and then obviously when the Xbox One came out, it was one of the first games that they used like the back compat stuff with,
That's
so you can
right.
play it backwards compatible.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking hell, my memory's awful. Oh, wow.
But yeah, as we were saying before we started recording, there was all this hubbub online, like, oh, the logo's been found on their website and everything, and people were like, oh, they're going to remaster Red Dead, and I just thought that makes a lot of sense considering the original never came out on the PC.
Yeah.
Red Dead 2 did, but it's a prequel, so it doesn't really interfere with the story per se. So, and now all they need to do is take the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine and reskin Red Dead Redemption in that,
Yeah.
and it would have millions of copies would have just flown off the shelves, or onto people's hard drives or whatever. But no, we're just gonna do a bare bones port of the original game, take the multiplayer out, which was really well done and really well implemented. It's probably one of the first multiplayers that I kind of remember where it was you kind of just went around and role played and did like little jobs and random things around the map, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It had weird challenges like ride from this location to Mexico before sundown, from like noon to sundown, and weird sort of things like that.
Yeah.
And loads of people played it for years, and I think that the online, because has Red Dead 2 got on online?
Yeah. It just was
Oh, it
shit.
has.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Was it just online multiplayer, no actual free roam and all that kind of stuff? Or
I think it was like a
oh,
free
no,
roam
tell a
thing.
lie. No, it was free roam. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I tried it out for like about half an hour and was like, because I never really got on with Red Dead 2 anyway. I think the original's far better as a game. So yeah, but yeah, just standard port. It's not going to be not even 60 FPS or anything.
Okay.
So kind of seems like a missed opportunity, but for those that want it, I'm sure it's still going to sell reasonably okay.
Yeah.
A massive, massive missed opportunity, and I think the people that are pissed off the most are the PC players because they were like, "It's happening, boys! We're finally getting it."
It's a weird one that's never come to PC because it'd be awesome for the mods.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of. I mean, like GTA 4, as bad as that was, it's probably the worst GTA game I've played. Like the mods on that on the PC were mad when that came out.
Oh yeah. The mods on 5 are insane. Yeah. Right. I think that's all the. Oh, my last bit of news. The PS5, Darren. It's had a price drop. It's now £400.
Is this? I think this is just a limited thing, but it does seem to be in most stores, like kind of 400 with a game or so.
Yeah, I saw it advertised in game of all places. Not much of a rip-off merchant than I are. 400 quid with a game as well. I was like, wow. Don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't know if it's a limited time promotion or a permanent thing. But I
I
mean,
think it's like a summer thing, to be perfectly honest.
one of the rumors I saw online, and take this with a pinch of salt, is this is a permanent price drop because they're getting ready to launch the announce the PS5 Pro. We'll see. We'll see if that happens, eh? It's about that time, though, isn't it? Into the life cycle.
Yeah, I mean they had a they do like a weird insiders program similar to like the Xbox One
Yeah.
for PS5, and there was an update for that.
Mm.
It was like last week or a bit before,
Okay.
which added a few extra bits and bobs. One of which was like it now made the firmware where you could have like an 8 terabyte internal
Oh
like
yeah.
usable on it, which is like
Okay.
a huge amount of memory, really.
Intriguing. Okay, so we actually had a question for this week's episode, Darren. Are you ready?
Yeah.
From Gavlar, he says, if you could bring back an old game franchise that is no longer about, what would it be? I actually have an answer for this.
I have multiple answers for it, but yeah, my main answer would be in today's age, nothing, mate.
Oh, because
I
it just
would
turned
not
into a
want to
piece
see.
of shit with loads of microtransactions.
No, well, not necessarily just that. It'd be censored and people would be screeching, and it's just fucking nonsense. Like, because all this like modern audience bullshit and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's like a lot of franchises I would love to see make a comeback. Most of them are fighting games because like fighting games were my bread and butter, and it's what I
Yeah.
absolutely adored when I was growing up, and I still kind of do. It's just a shame that most fighting games nowadays are just shit
Fair enough,
or
mate.
completely ruined by microtransactions and like selling you extra content constantly. Oh,
Yeah.
which actually brings me to a quick thing. Sorry to butt in, but I noticed the other week that they are selling a brand new character season pass for One Piece Pirate Warriors 4,
Okay.
which is a pretty old game. If
Okay.
I think it came out around like the PS4 Pro sort of time, so I think it's at least 3 or 4 years
Oh
old.
wow. Okay.
But yeah, they're releasing a new season pass for it with new characters, which makes me think that they're not going to be doing a new One Piece Pirate Warriors game soon. And
Okay.
because it's basically back compat, I think for Series X and PS5, like with the 4K and increased frame rate and stuff, that they're
Hmm.
just basically going to launch like the characters from like the new arcs and stories into it as DLC. But I thought that was actually kind of interesting that they're carrying on to support a game that's like at least 3 to 4 years old
Yeah.
with
That's
like a
pretty
brand new
fair.
season pass.
Yeah. Wow. So back to the question then. If you could bring back an old game franchise and it's no longer about, I've got a couple of answers. Probably a couple of games top of my list. One is the Project Gotham Racing series. One of my favourite racing series of all time. Collecting the kudos, playing it on the old Xbox 360, Project Gotham Racing 4, 3 and 4 were just fucking amazing. Probably top of my list would be the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter series of games, or at least just fucking remake them or something. Amazing. Some of my best gaming memories, the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter games. So fucking good. And it's so, and Graw 2 is so fucking good. It still has active servers online even today because you can play it backwards compatible on your Series X. So it's got a fan base.
Yeah,
Half.
I will
Oh,
throw
go on.
franchises out there. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Um, so yeah, I'd like to see a new Darkstalkers. but I think it would be toned down and butchered. I'd like to see another rival schools game, because I think that, if done properly, could be like almost one of the most popular fighting games ever made. It
Okay.
takes so many kind of things that people are into with anime and stuff,
Okay.
that they could make a really fucking phenomenal fighting game out of that if they went with it. Like, there hasn't been one since the Dreamcast,
Oh
basically.
wow.
It's been a dead franchise since then. But everyone I know who's played them, including Nick and various other people in the fighting game community, always have liked those games.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty janky and clunky because they were very early 3D. They were kind of just around after like the Street Fighter EX, which was like the weird 3D Street Fighter game they did. But yeah, they could make an amazing one of those. But I just don't have any faith that any company will be able to pull it off. And
Yeah.
obviously, I'd like to see another Senran Kagura, but it's never going to happen
Mm.
because of prudes and dickheads in charge.
Yeah. I was going to say Half-Life.
Yeah, Half-Life 3 would be nice.
Yeah. It's never going
Or
to
Left 4
happen, but
Dead
there we go.
3 would be nice as well.
Yeah.
What's the other game they couldn't count to 3 on?
Oh, fuck, I can't remember now.
Because
Oh,
it was
there's
Valve, wasn't it? I'm sure there was
is it
pretty much
Half-Life
almost
and
a
Left 4
hat
Dead?
trick of. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there was another one. Someone's probably screaming it. Right now.
No, I can't think.
Oh well.
Yeah. So
Half-Life 3 would actually probably crash the internet.
probably.
But I think that's kind of it. That does actually. Team Fortress, you could say Team Fortress 3, I guess, because Team Fortress 2 is hugely popular. It probably
I didn't
still
like
is
it.
in
Team Fortress
certain
Classic for
circles.
me all the way.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing how a company that used to make like really beloved and groundbreaking games just basically became a fucking digital game distribution platform.
Yeah,
What a downgrade.
I know. It is mad, isn't it?
And then Epic Games, again, they used to make shitloads of really good, interesting stuff, and now they just literally make Fortnite, and that's fucking it. Just make all their money off licensing their Unreal Engine.
Yeah. It's absolutely mental. Wow. That's it, I think, Darren, for this week.
Oh, yeah, the news. I completely forgot the news sort of stuff. We skipped over it. Yeah, so there was like another couple of characters, I think, shown off for Tekken 8.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Raven and a new female character.
Mm-hmm.
It might be Portuguese, or I could be getting that wrong. They showed off Aki, which is like AKI, like A.K.I. Who's the next character for Street Fighter. I think she's Chinese, or basically gives that kind of vibe. Has a really strange, stupid sort of haircut. Actually looks worse in the game than it did in the concept art. The concept art looked quite good. Then when you see like it in game, you're like, It kind of looks like, like the old traditional Chinese hats that go out, but it's like her actual hair is like it.
Okay.
Very, very strange. Seems to like use poisons. And they showcased off, which probably got one of the biggest reactions. Very, very brief, glimpsey footage of the new Fatal Fury game, like Mark of the
Okay.
Wall, something or other. I can't remember. I just basically saw the promo sort of trailer thing and thought, it's pretty good. I mean, I would be more excited because, like, I probably have a very strange take for people who like fighting games, but Garrow was my least favourite Fatal Fury of all of them.
Okay.
Like it was a complete shift of like the art style and everything. I know why people like it because they changed to a more sort of cartoony art style, and it was like the animations and stuff like that were done pretty well. But at the end of the day, it's like characters and gameplay, and it didn't have the great characters that some of the previous games had. Some of the characters like Terry lost some of their signature moves because they taught them to another character. It's almost like Ryu teaching someone how to do a dragon punch, and then in the next game, Ryu can't dragon punch.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Stupid, absolutely stupid. And I'd really like the Real Bout series, which were the ones that came before, like Mark of the Wolves. But yeah, there's probably people having a bit and frothing at the mouth. How dare you? It's like, look, I owned it on the Neo Geo cartridge, and I didn't like it as much as the others.
Fair dues,
But
mate.
this is going to be like a revamp. It kind of looks weird, the art style on it. So it looks similar to King of Fighters 15 in a way, but it's also taken that artistic like sort of almost comic booky art style from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Right.
And sort of merged them together. So it looks pretty cool and nicely unique.
Okay, nice.
So we shall see. They announced another Under Night in Birth or title.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what that is. And Grand Blue Fantasy. What was the fighting one? Versus. Yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I think it's Versus Rising, I think is the next one that's coming out. They announced, I think, a launch date, maybe. Some digital deluxe edition, standard edition, and like a free-to-play edition.
Okay.
And I'm like, because I know some games did try the whole free-to-play thing. One of which being Dead or Alive 5 and Dead or Alive 6, and installing those games from disc because of that was fucking horrendous. Because it literally downloaded every single character and stage and outfit as separate downloads. Because it treated the whole thing like a free-to-play, and you was installing each thing as though you were buying the free-to-play version. It was awful. So yeah, we shall see. It's a game I like, and I will definitely buy it if there's a physical copy. But that's another thing. I don't know if it's got a physical copy or not. If it hasn't, then oh well, never mind. I guess I'll be passing on that franchise from there on out. But we shall see. Yeah, the free-to-play version of it apparently features 4 characters and like access to 1 or 2 of the game modes. Because there was like a weird sort of story game mode in Fantasy Versus.
Yeah.
Where you could like get items and other bits and bobs. So it's kind of interesting.
Nice.
So yeah, there's probably some other bits and bobs. I'm sure they talked about an upgrade for Mortal Kombat as well over the weekend. Not Mortal Kombat, even though they did show off Mortal Kombat stuff for the new one. I think they've announced all of the characters for the quote marks launch roster because no fighting games ever launch with a full fucking roster anymore.
No.
Gotta keep people coming back.
Yeah.
And Killer Instinct is getting upgrades for the series consoles, etc.
Bloody, I remember when that was a launch day release for the One, wasn't it?
Yeah, digital only, Xbox One release.
Wow.
And the only reason I got it is I was given it for free by Xbox.
Yeah.
Because do you remember they like chose select people on Xbox and sort of gave them free codes if you're a bit of a like I don't know whether it was based on gamer score or what the hell it was. But obviously I did have a lot of gamer score before the Xbox One came out, and I think I've barely earned 25,000 since it came out, which is like hardly anything compared to what I had before the Xbox came out, or the Xbox One, sorry.
Lols. Well, I'm looking forward to when you get Remnant 2 anyway, because I'm intrigued
Yeah,
to hear you
I should be getting that
talk your
Atlas Fallen
thoughts.
as well this week.
Oh, nice.
I think that might be out on Thursday. Again, like you said, the weird thing of games coming out on Thursday. I think that might be out on Thursday. So I think it's out on the 10th, which would make it Thursday. Let me just check through the old
Atlas
PlayStation
Fallen.
Store.
Is that only on PlayStation? Is it?
No, it's on everything.
I'm sure I remember seeing a
It's the weird one
trailer
where
for
it's sort
that.
of like, yeah, it's kind of third person set in the desert and you sand surf and stuff. And it's got a lot of
Uh,
Monster Hunter bits and bobs. So yeah, it's out on the 10th. So that would make be Thursday, wouldn't it?
oh, there's gameplay already online. Advanced gameplay. Mm,
It looks kind of interesting.
yeah.
Plus, it'd probably be nice to check it out on my new TV that I've got
Oh,
because
tell us
I ended up
about your new
getting.
TV then.
It's fantastic. It's basically the Samsung 2022 model that came out last year that everyone was raving about. It's like a QLED, which is like a fake OLED, but it
Nice.
doesn't run the risk of burn-ins,
Mhm.
which OLEDs do.
Okay.
It's very bright, very vibrant. The colours on it are fantastic. It has, for some reason, fucking Game Pass built into the telly.
What?
You obviously need an active subscription and all that kind of stuff, but you can stream your games straight through the TV
That's pretty
on the
cool.
internet and stuff. I didn't really need it on there, to be honest. And when I first turned my Xbox on, it paired my remote to my Xbox.
Oh, that's quite
So
cool.
I was controlling my dashboard and stuff with my TV remote.
That's pretty awesome, man.
And then when something happened, I literally went downstairs because I was leaving something running in the background to download, and then I pushed standby to turn my telly off, and it turned off my fucking Xbox.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So I've
Oh,
unpaired that nonsense, or I looked into how to unpair it anyway, and I've done that. All in all, it's a really great TV.
yeah.
Does a lot of things I couldn't care less about. Like it
Yeah.
comes with all this apps and jargon and Alexa and all this other shit
Yeah.
built in.
Yeah.
Don't care for any of it. The only downside about it I've had so far is it uses that fucking shitty smoothing technology when you're
Oh, you can
watching
turn it
films
off,
and
can't you?
TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can, but I've got to look in how to do it properly, full on,
Right.
because the only way I've figured out how to do it so far is to switch picture modes
Right.
to movie mode, and that basically does it. But while you're in movie mode, it changes the entire color balance of your TV, so it kind of looks washed out. Or it looks like you're in the room of someone who's been a heavy smoker for decades and he hasn't cleaned
Right.
the front of his TV. So it's got like an orangey sort of weird tint to the colour tone.
Ah.
So when I'm on the PS5, obviously it's automatically on game mode. Like that's another bonus. You don't have to actually automatically set it all up for game mode. It does that already.
Yeah.
And then if you're playing media, etc., it switches off game mode.
Right.
So it's like I almost can't set it up. So every time I watch a video, I've got to go in and change it, and that's on YouTube as well, and on
Oh,
terrestrial TV. I have to fondle with the picture to stop it looking like it's been filmed on someone's mobile.
that's fucking annoying, isn't
Because
it?
it's I don't understand. Nobody wants that. I
Yeah.
don't know a single person that actually likes it. It's not the way films are meant to be watched. It's not the way TV's meant to be watched. It makes everything look cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird, but adding frames to certain things, because I always thought when I was a kid, like, oh, when people are like like, if I was to get a camera and I was to film my mate doing stuff, it never looks filmish
Hmm.
or in that kind of thing. Not realizing back then that it's to do with the FPS that the films
Yeah. Yeah.
use to give that kind of illusion. And when you strip that away, it does look like it's just filmed on some shitty corder somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's good TV. I love it, but I've got to now look into how to sort of try and disable that crap permanently. And part of me wonders why it's even on there. One of the things that is on there is you can actually apply that technology to your game, sort of gameplay games. So it basically, your television, if you're running a game that's only 30 FPS, you can toggle options that give you the illusion that the game is running at 60.
Right.
It makes like moving of the camera smoother and does some other technical jargon to try and fill in gaps.
Yeah.
Which is that's impressive, but I don't want that for my films.
That's fair enough, mate.
So yeah, I'm sure there is a setting somewhere to go in to literally turn it off and what's it. And we're still not at the point, because it's got the old picture-in-picture and all that kind of stuff, and you compare various things, but you can't actually have picture-in-picture of both systems running.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome, because I could be doing my shitty, boring crafting in Black Desert while I'm doing stuff on Final Fantasy, and I can see when my crafting stuff's finished to then do something else, rather than having to keep switching channel back and forth, back and forth. Also, this television actually came with 420 hertz 4K HDR compatible ports, which is great, because I recall back in the day that you'd get like a newfangled TV that would do some sort of like thing that the TV was great for, and only one or two of the HDMI ports would actually support it, and you'd have to keep switching them about.
Yeah.
If you had multiple systems.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, recommended if you can sort out the horrible color, the TV motion thing.
Makes sense, mate. Well, no, I'm glad you're liking your new telly.
Yeah. I thought my last TV was absolutely amazing. Like, I'd had it since the PS4 Pro came out.
Yeah.
I picked it up for that because I was like, oh, 4K, I'll get in on that. And it did everything really well, apart from the fact that when you connected it to Wi-Fi, it just turned into a laggy fucking piece of shit. But that's the Wi-Fi and all that. It's not the TV. But yeah, I ended up having like bleeding pixels or something behind the screen.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like light streaks coming through. And obviously, where televisions are getting to a point where each individual backlight comes on when it's needed to light the picture up, it was weird, because if I'm watching a film and it was in like super wide aspect ratio, you wouldn't notice them because they're along the bottom of the screen, and because the lights would all be turned off for the black bar to make it look like super black. It's not noticeable, but as soon as you've got a game on and there's some sort of backlight behind it, if it's the brighter it is, the worse it looks.
Yeah.
There's like a couple of them, like almost like witches' fingers or something. I was like, accrued them to. So yeah, I just got a new TV and sort of said to the parents, "You don't mind all this crap on there?" And they're like, "No." And I was like, "All right, you can take that away then." Because I don't know anyone else, like personally, who'd want it because of that, because of the defect. It seems a bit silly. Like, I was on a really good 4K TV. It's amazing, but it's got this horrible light bleed on it, unfortunately. And you know what that is, don't you?
Go on.
Because everything now that's made these days is shit, and it's not built to last.
No, it's not. No. It's annoying. You got all these old washing machines that have been going, like the old granny's had bought in the 70s, still going strong. You buy one now and you're lucky it lasts like 2 years.
Yeah, it was going on about like your lawnmower packed up. Like you had a like reasonably good lawnmower, and then it's packed up. And meanwhile, Bob down the road with his petrol fucking ripcord one that he's had since like 1968 still fucking works perfectly.
Yeah.
There's people out there probably still using their old black and white CRTs, still going strong.
Of course there is. Yeah. Well, dude, I think on that note, I think we should end.
Yeah, fair enough.
Been emotional. So, from me, Mark Webb, Gamer Tag Piss on the Steam ID, Webby360G.
And Sensei Switch.
So, thank you very much. It's been awesome, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.